Hope everybody's doing well. Excited to get back to Neyland, see our fans here this Saturday. Salute to service game. Obviously, want to thank all the men and women that have made so many sacrifices to give us the opportunity to do the things that we do. It's also Senior Day. Be a great day to recognize those guys that have meant so much and poured so much into this program. Obviously, for me, just thinking back to when I first got here, these guys have been a huge part of laying the foundation, helping our program build extremely quickly here over the last 2 years, and building this program back to where it should be, which is competing at the highest level. And excited to celebrate that with those guys today. I'm going to open it up for questions.
How would you assess your first practice back after Saturday?
The energy in the building was good. Were guys disappointed after the game? Yeah, if they weren't, then we'd have real issues. I had an opportunity to, for them to go into the position meeting and unit meetings and just see, the landscape from the coach's perspective. They have a chance to watch it with them. And then as a team, too, just watch how the game unfolded and things that we did that can control the game and make it play out differently. But, that's a great thing about this sport is that, man, you only get one opportunity, and you play it 10 times. It unfolds differently 10 times every time. And for us, let's go back and control what we can control, which is how we prepare, how we practice, and how we go play this Saturday. As a competitor, you're only as good as the next one. You guys have heard me say that. It's true after a win, true after a loss. And for us as a program, it's time to get better.
Coach, you guys have been so good at generating those chunk plays in the passing game. What was Georgia able to do that nobody else has been able to do to kind of limit that?
Yeah, we had a couple opportunities, didn't hit them at times. And the other thing, too, is just you look at some of the things that we did to ourselves, 8 pre-snap penalties. That makes the game a whole lot tougher. And you lose some of the rhythm that we're accustomed to playing with and want to play with. Changes the way the game unfolds. Third down, situational football. Had the ball on the plus side of the 40, I think, 6 times. And there's things that they did. Certainly we didn't protect and didn't win sometimes on the outside. Hendon was a little bit off. You combine all those things together, and it plays out the way that it did.
Josh, obviously you've got the respect of the College Football Playoff Committee with them putting you number 1 a week ago. As you go forward, you take care of your business, but at the same time there will be 5, 6, 7, 8 teams that are all trying to prove they deserve to be one of those 4. How do you handle the style points as you go forward?
Man, there's a whole month of football, and there's a lot of ball left to be played by everybody in the country. Up until this point, we've done a lot of things right, obviously, in that ball game a week ago. Credit to Georgia, too. But obviously, we didn't come out on the right side of the scoreboard. There's nothing that we can control other than who we are, how we approach it, and how we go play and compete. At the end of the day, it's about trying to find a way to be the best team on the field during the 60 minutes. That's all we're concerned about.
There's a sense maybe that some of your guys were just beat one-on-ones. Maybe that's why that game went like it did. When you look at film, can you see ways schematically and assignment, in terms of assignment, that if you play that game again, you can see how it would go differently?
The first part of that, no.
Did you lose just because guys got beat in one-on-ones? It wasn't scheme, it wasn't assignment, anything like that?
Man, there's a whole lot of things that everybody can do different. Me, our assistant coaches, our players too. There's a lot of things that we didn't handle well and things that are certainly within our control. And things that we've done at a really high level throughout the course of the season. We'll get better at that, and we'll have opportunities to improve upon those things and play a lot better football here down the stretch. Georgia's a good football team, too.
Going up against Georgia, why were they so effective at the line of scrimmage on defense and then being able to blitz Hendon Hooker, I think, like 62% of his dropbacks?
Yeah, they're a high amount of pressure team. That's a little bit higher than what we had scouted, but not a whole lot higher than what we had anticipated going into the football game. There's a combination of things, from communication up front, losing some one-on-ones up front, to not winning out on the outside, or Hendon not reading right. It's all of those things together that that make that game play out the way that it did. Situational football is going to be critical against a good football team like they are. And you look at some of the things that we did before the snap that we are certainly in control of. It changed the way third downs are played, changed situational football. Again, we weren't good on the plus side of the territory, had opportunities. But there's nothing we can do about that. What we can do is correct it moving forward. And this group, that's who they are. That's what they're about. They're competitors. And if you don't wipe the slate clean, whether you win or lose, you're setting yourself up for failure and not getting ready to go play your best football. This group will rebound.
Looking ahead to Missouri now, what do they do well offensively and defensively that'll be some challenges for your team?
Yeah, just on the defense side of the ball, look at them statistically. They've been really good against the run. Played tight pass coverage too. They're one of the top 3-4 scoring units inside of our league defensively. They've played at a really high level and make you earn it. Offensively, have some weapons out on the outside that are explosive. They can create big plays. We've got to do a great job of handling the line of scrimmage and applying pressure to the quarterback too.
You mentioned Senior Day earlier. I know that's a game that can have a lot of emotions to it, especially before kickoff with going through the tee for the final time. Is there anything as a coach you can do to kind of level the emotion of all that out? Yeah,
you try to prepare them. It's unique in that you pause for 5 minutes, before you go back in the tunnel, and it is you get a chance to see your family, take it in one last time. Obviously, our appreciation as a program and our fans too to recognize those guys, what they've meant, what they've done inside of our program. When you run back in, then you got to reset, and it's got to be just about football for 60 minutes. And a year ago, our guys handled that pretty well. It'll be important that our guys do that here too. A lot of those guys are going to play a lot of football for us.
Coach, kind of following up on that with Hendon, he's obviously been such an important part of your program the past 2 seasons. Just can you describe his impact and what he's meant?
Yeah, to put it just in words, I think he's really tough. He's been such a leader. He's been such a dynamic playmaker. He's been so consistent in the building. He's a huge part of the culture that we have from within the locker room, the ownership that we have from within it. I don't think anybody inside of our program, players, coaches, or fans, would ever take anything from him for granted. He's had a huge impact, and excited to get it back out there, play one more time in Neyland, but we got a lot of football ahead of us and continue to compete down the home stretch with them.
Josh, I've covered coaches in the past who said that a lot of times you learn more about your team after it loses than after it wins. Is that just something coaches say, or is there some truth to that in terms of things you can learn?
And I think you learn a lot about your football team, no matter what the circumstances, and how they reset and go to the next one. From the first day that I've gotten here to today, we've learned a lot about our football team, and they continue to prove to themselves, but to us, that they're fierce competitors, that they're able to handle adversity and reset and move on and get better and grow, that they accept things and try to improve upon those things. So this group, I don't know if learning something about them is what I'm thinking about this week as much as I believe in who they are, their DNA, and look forward to seeing that unfold this week. If that makes sense.
Long term, now that you've gotten the program where it is just overnight so quickly, what's the key to long-term sustainability of this program staying where it is now?
Yeah, you stay true to the values that have gotten you here. The cornerstone pieces of who each individual has to be in the building, who we're collectively going to be. Continue to build connection and culture from within the building. You have the ability to develop the guys that are inside your program and continue to recruit at a really high level. And if you put all those pieces together, we're going to continue to get better as a program. And no doubt in my mind that we're in the beginning stages of what this program is going to be.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Man, that was short today. Jeez, my God.